What's up guys, TechLab here, and it's finally happened, the GPU crisis is over. GPUs in both the new and pre-owned market are falling in prices hard, and today we thought we would take a look at one that you should definitely keep your eyes open for, especially if you are a budget gamer. This is the card we'll be taking a look at, or more clearly, this one. So let's get into it. Now this is the Nvidia GTX 1660 Super, and it kind of sits between generations. It's not exactly a 10 series, and it's also not exactly a 20 series either, even though it does utilise the Turing architecture. Released in 2019, it is kind of like an RTX 2060, but without the RTX. That means it doesn't have any hardware-assisted ray tracing or DLSS. But it is officially supported by AMD's FSR, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. Now there were three versions of the 1660, the 1660 Standard, the 1660 Super, and the 1660 Ti. And the Super we have here today actually sits right in the middle when it comes to performance. The exact model we have is an MSI Geforce 1660 Super Ventus XS OC, and it was recently donated to our channel by one of our awesome followers. It has a boost clock speed of 1850 MHz and is home to 6GB of GDDR6 VRAM, so it still has something to give. Now we've actually had this card in our benching system for over a week now, and it's actually worked flawlessly. We've had no issues at all, the drivers are strong, the card is pretty strong. The only one issue with this specific model we find is that there is no zero fan controller mode. Even when the card is in idle, it's actually always running, so you do have a bit of an increased noise level, and I'm not sure if this is actually just restricted to this model, but if you know, let us know in the comments below. As always, our benchmarks target what we see as the minimum that any gamer should expect nowadays, a 1080p high setting 60 frames per second performance. So let's take a look at how well it did. So as we can see from those benchmarks, this card makes an awesome 1080p high settings card. Even today, it's still got enough power to pretty much plow through all of those modern titles, and actually it did it with ease. The only game that we couldn't hit that 60 frames per second perfectly was of course Cyberpunk 2077, and that's pretty much testing to any graphics card, but there are things that you can do. Now unfortunately we don't have DLSS to be able to push this card a little bit more, but we do have access to AMD's FSR technology. Going into the game and enabling FSR's highest quality, which is ultra quality, we managed to push this card way over the average of 60 frames per second, and there was very little, if any, kind of loss to the picture quality. So that's actually truly saying this card can be pushed further than you would expect. I'm actually super impressed with this card, and I would definitely look for others of this kind of caliber. I would suggest that now, if you want to go out there and build a gaming PC, even on a budget, this is the card that you should be looking at as a minimum. It's 6GB of RAM, actually give it a little bit more of a future. When it comes down to prices, due to the actual drop in the market, you can actually roughly pick these up from between £100 and £150, which actually isn't too bad considering in some places the GTX 1060, its older brother, is actually still maintaining that kind of price. But from our testing, this card is actually going to hold you for a little bit longer. Now, if you have a GTX 1660 Super, let us know in the comments what your experience is like. What kind of games do you play and what kind of settings do you find that work? We're going to keep this one around for a while because it's actually a pretty decent graphics card, and I'm sure we're going to get lots of testing done with it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more like this, and also drop the video a like, and we'll catch you in the next one.